All right. Now I have finished kind of my rough painting. Right. I have my sketch underneath. I have my rough painting. And now I'm starting to get into deciding how to refine that rough painting. So I've already started with some highlights on top, so that's really kind of part of the rough painting. And that's just with kind of painting white at 70% and carving it all in. What is really glaringly missing are the glasses, right? So if I go back to the sketch, I can actually kind of outline those glasses. And I'm going to put these on their own layer. They're an accessory. So I'll duplicate that. I have to unlock it to duplicate it. Just my glasses sketch, right? And then I can move that on top. And I'm going to lock my other painting layers. Okay, so now I have those glasses just from my sketch. And instead of just painting them at this point, what I could do is just play with image adjustments and darken them, right, to get a sense of what's there. Okay, and now I can kind of paint around and with this, but I got to refine the shape of them. So I'm going to start that at 100% opacity because these are mechanical. And I might do this with not one of my custom brushes, but with just a standard pressure brush, right? Just like, because I'm doing an accessory now, it's just like starting a new painting from scratch with just a base layer. So I'm going to try to refine that edge, make it pretty crisp. And my inspiration for this is here. I want kind of strong rims. And then a lighter inside to kind of give a color shift. Okay, I can also use my lasso to kind of carve away. Right. And I have a 2-pixel feather on my lasso, but not very big at all. And this is not outlining. This is just refining the shapes. Now, I've demoed in the past how to do this, like I did a portrait of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and just at the end, I composited her glasses on. You know, kind of found a digital image similar to her glasses and then kind of warped it and distorted it to match the angle of her face. And that way can work too, but it's honestly, it's just a lot of work either way. But this is mechanical versus organic, so that's why I like to do it in a different layer. Same thing with piercings, you know, and other accessories. Like if you're doing an animal like a cat, it can be helpful to do the collar on a separate layer because that has harder, more mechanical edges than the fur of the cat. And then you can kind of nest it in the fur and then delete from there. So I might not be getting the shape of these glasses exactly right, but that's better because it will kind of match the personality of my painting, which is better than getting them perfectly right and having them just look out of place. Let's see, like that. Okay, now I'm going to go for the inside of the glasses. I want to look at my reference. I don't quite have that shape yet. Let me clean that up with my lasso. Tricky angle. And as picky as we are about, as human viewers, about facial proportions, as consumers of fashion, we can tell the difference between one shape of cat eye glasses and another, or one curve of high heel and another. Like, accessories are incredibly unforgiving too. But again, it's not about getting it exactly right. It's about having it match the personality of your painting. It's always good to try hard. Okay, so now, inspired by this, I'm going to try to find that inside shape, which is separate, right? And I'm going to go ahead and paint that on a new layer. So now I'm going to paint at a lower opacity with this light blue that I'll steal. Again, hard-edged. To show the width of these glasses, of the rims. And then that all gets filled in. Oh, that's not what I wanted. And then the other side, let me see if I can get that a little bit cleaner. Now, the use of these glasses is what interested me about this photo reference. And you might have different ideas about what interests you about your photo reference and what you want to take your time on. All right, and this side. Okay, now I'm going to go to a lower opacity, and I'm just going to roughly paint around where the eye shadows are. And try to smooth out some of these rough edges internally. And this is just with the standard pressure sensitive brush, the hard round pressure size brush under general brushes. So you can do a lot with that when you're playing with opacity. All right. I think those eye shadows are a little misplaced, but I can work with it. So now, what I can do is select from this layer, this is kind of compositing skills again, select that, and I can delete that from this layer, right? Or better yet, say select inverse, and have a layer of the glasses that have no openings in them. These are just the base paintings, right? And then have the openings filled in. And then there's just one thing there that I wasn't anticipating, that I thought I had done better. Yeah, strange. Let me try that again. Let me do it this way. I'll merge everything into a temporary layer, holding down Option, and I'll just use the magic wand with contiguous to grab all of that. Ah, it's just not very clean. All right, regardless, let's see if we can continue. So what do I want to do? I want to take this, and I want to grab just this part of it from the layer underneath. There we go. Okay, now I can use this, and I can take the opacity down, right, to make it look like glasses. But I can also, in order to match my inspiration, it's not so much that I want the glasses to be darker, it's that I want them to change the color temperature of what's behind them. So without anything, they look like this. But if I change them in a blending mode to hard light, you see how it changes the color temperature behind. So I can now play with the hue saturation to see what that color temperature should be. And I want it a little bit more cyan, a little bit more saturated, a little bit darker. Maybe like that. And without the glasses, it still works. It just kind of adds green to those areas. Okay, the next thing I need is these variations and the reflections in the glasses and what you're looking through. So I'm going to do that on top. And I'm going to do that with my brush at a low opacity. But I'm going to use the magic wand to select around it. First on a duplicate, right? And now when I paint, it will keep it within these shapes.